when I'm in a hurry and I still want to make sure all my fish get high quality stuff. Very quick and very nutritious. So it's something that I think every fish room should have. It's 5:30 in the evening. I did all my water changes with the small feeding this morning. No one has eaten all day. I'm not going to be able to feed each fish individually as far as products. It's just going to be one product throughout the room. I'm going to show you why I created this product the way I did. Now for years I thought flake food, total garbage. Until I met a breeder that only fed his discus flake food. I was like, dude, what are you feeding these things? They're insane. So he showed me, and so I decided to create my own with basically almost all the same stuff he had, but I added some stuff because there's things that I wanted in my food for my fish. Now, all fish are going to get this food, and it's on the website. It's Growing Spawn Worm Flake. I got a little sore throat. I don't know what happened today, but I caught a little something out in the cold. But this food is amazing. It does grow discus. It's nice because I can feed it to everything in my room, and we'll go through tank by tank, and I'll kind of show you each tank and what's going on in the fish room. Now, for members, right now you buy 3 ounces, you get the 4th free, and you get free shipping. Now, if you're not a member, you can go buy it on the shellerfishfood.com, and I gave it a slight discount, but also it's free shipping to you too. All right, so let's get started. First of all is this breeding pair. Now, this guy right here, he is the father of the fish that will be sent out, and there's still a couple left on the website. I wanted these genes in my fish, and you'll see in the fish room that it's starting to come out now as far as this type of fish is exactly what I wanted. But because this has heckle in it too, I'm starting to get more heckle bars in my fish. So these guys did lay eggs the other day. They did not hatch. Now I want to say something about the breeding water I send out. It's designed to be used with an RO system. And when you say it's around, or you think, or it might be, that's not good enough, okay? You're not going to get 0 RO water with an RV filter. You have to buy an RO unit. So if you want to breed fish for profit, you have to spend that $150 for an RO, a good RO unit. And that water has to come out at 0 for my product to work. These guys are in RO water, and I would say these two have produced probably about 500 fish. So when I hear that, oh, I'm starting at 150 ppm, well, that's not going to work. You might get lucky and get small spawns at that. So what happens is it's conductivity, right? When you're in that high of a conductivity or a ppm, the male literally has less than a second to fertilize those eggs before they seal up. So that's why softer water is so important. So you must start with a 0 ppm or micro Siemens. I go by micro Siemens. That's how I've been measuring since I can remember, just the way I was taught. So most of the probes, that's what they go by. All right, so let's start feeding these guys. So these are my Guppy strain that I've been working on for 4 years. These are what's left. These are not the strain. They're in their own tank now. And all I'm doing is I'm breeding them, pulling out the ones I want young, especially the females, because I do not want them to be breeding yet. So literally I have to pull those females out, put them in another tank, and have all females, because I do not want the males breeding with them unless the male that I want to breed with them. So this is the 3rd tier that are for sale. This is the 2nd tier that I picked out of, and then I have a number 1 tier over there that I'll show you that are my breeders that I'm working on. I probably would say I got another year on this. So what's nice about this product is the quality. The quality is amazing, and right now it's a great time to buy it if you want to buy it. So you can see just very high quality, and it has, let's see, salmon, wheat gluten, soy protein isolate, corn flour, earthworms, bloodworms, silkworms, tube effect worms, blackworms, plankton, krill, and the pre and probiotics and the vitamins. I purposely made this for discus, but what I'm finding is I can feed it to everything, and everything does real well on it. So let's feed these guys. What I like about it is you can kind of get it to the size, right, that they need, and these fish love it, and they'll slowly just chew on it. So one thing you'll notice is they will eat off the top, but they would rather eat off the bottom. That is the truth with discus. They will pick off the top, but they're a little sketchy because in the wild they're obviously a prey food. So they like to be towards the bottom to feel comfort. Okay, now these guys. So also in here I have plecos and stirbi in here, my F1 stirbi. So what's nice about this is I can get it to the size I need, and it's quick. I'm gonna go through and feed this room. Obviously with the camera it's gonna take me a little longer than usual, but I can literally feed my whole room in 5 minutes and know they're getting an awesome amount of protein in their diet and getting good growth on them. I can use it for my fry, I can use it for everything. This tank has kind of just my catch-all. I have an extra one of my angelfish, the red Monocopora albino. I also have all my plecos in here. So my other guppies here, there's a lot of babies in here. I do sell these, and I just sell them as assorted. I don't try to sell them as anything they're not. What's nice is I can crumble it up for those little tiny babies and they'll get plenty to eat tonight. When I breed fish, I let them grow up and then I split them in half usually, because I take out the ones that are a little smaller and not as aggressive, and I put them in their own tank so they can have a chance to grow and thrive. So these guys are small rams and F1 stirbi. What I've noticed with this product is you do not have to feed a lot because it is such high quality. Do not overfeed it. You can put just a little bit in and it'll go a long way. This is the west wall. I'm facing west. Alright, so these guys are growing out. These are nice discus. So these discus are what we just showed. These are the oldest fry. And I would say they're about 3.5 months old right now. And they're getting that turquoise top, that wild stripe around, which I love. So you can see here, this guy is like, there's one in here that's just amazing, right here. What I will do is I'll pick 2 or 3 of these with the characteristics I want. That way we can kind of pick the best 3 or 4. Like that's a little female right there. She'll come out, this nice male with that heckle bar. And I've even seen a couple triple heckle bars in here. These guys are going to get the worm flake, and they're growing great on it. So I feed this probably 2 or 3 times a week just because of convenience, but also I know it's high quality. I really break it up for them, and it'll come down and they'll eat that. Alright, oh, look at this guy right here, wow. You know, it's funny, you have fish in your fish room and you don't really check them out a lot because you just kind of go through the motions. But when you sit back and look at them, there's like 5 or 6 champs in there. There's one chip fin in there I see, he's going to have to come out. Okay, now below this tank is my two pairs of angelfish breed that I'm breeding. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to go on with the angelfish because I'm running out of room in my fish room as far as discus. I'm pretty stocked up with discus and rams. And you know, in order to breed angelfish, which I love these fish, they're awesome, they're like perfect finish, everything about them is great, but I just don't have the room to breed angelfish. Now, I might do a spawn and then maybe sell the parents and then work with the spawn, and then, you know, I just don't want to keep inbreeding the fish. So one thing that's nice about having a variety like the discus is I can breed a pair, take their babies, and even grow those babies out and then put it with a sub-adult and get a new strain going. There's some plecos in it, and actually this pleco here is the one that started my fish room. So 5 years ago when I started this fish room, I started in our kitchen area in our basement. This was the pleco that started this whole room as far as the biological. You know, he was very sturdy. I thought he was a bushy nose, but he's some kind of wild pleco, and I just don't have the heart. A couple people wanted on him. He's only about 5 inches, but he's a cool pleco. But, you know, there's no way I can find a mate for him or breed him. So he just kind of sticks around, and it's more for nostalgia. He's just going to stay in my fish room till the day he kicks it. And he might live a long, long life in here. But he goes from tank to tank, and I just put him and I make sure that he's always got a good home to live. All right, let's feed these guys. Man, my throat is killing me. With this food, you know, there's a lot of grass in here. And the reason I put all this grass in here is because I want to break up the sightlines, and also if a fish is getting picked on, he can go up in those weeds and he won't be picked on. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of food in there, and they'll find it. They'll go around and find it. Like I talked about the rams, I have fish that just aren't as dominant and they're not as growing as well. Now, I don't know if these fish are going to ever be full size, but one thing I notice is they're growing slower. And my room stays about 85, 86 degrees, so they're warm enough. Now, some tanks I do put heaters in because they're against an outside wall, so it stays a little cooler. But what I look for is eye size. Now, their eye size is actually pretty good as far as their body size. They're just not growing right. I'm doing an experiment where I can see if I can grow these guys to a decent size. They will never be a 5, 6, 7 inch discus, but they could be a good 4 inch discus. It might just take longer. But if you keep these fish with the bigger fish, you know, their brothers and sisters that are bigger, they will stunt these because there's just not enough food to go around, and the bigger fish will be dominant. So let's feed these guys. Now there's a lot of fish in here, and the filters are off because I've lowered my air pressure in my room. So these guys are going to get a lot. Now like I said, by the time this video is over, I could have fed this room 10 times. But because I'm filming, it's going to take a little bit longer. In this tank, unfortunately, the last video I did was the Levamisol mistake. That fish did not make it. These two fish are doing fine, the plecos are doing fine, and I have a ram in here with a swim bladder issue. He has been pulled out of the population because he was being picked on a lot. So I'm just going to give him his best life I can in here, and then they usually don't live a long life because of sitting on the bottom. They get infections pretty easy. This tank only has a couple fish in it, but it has some plecos in it. I have a breeding pair of my spotted plecos in here, a bushy nose. They're the regular bushy nose, but I've really, like the last 5 years, pulled out only the ones with lots of spots. So they're very spotted, which I love. This one I'm going to just do a tiny bit. Now these guys won't come out because this is considered a quarantine tank right now. But there's the ram. So he's doing okay, but he has no color because he's always stressing to stay alive. This is my rainbow tank, and I do have a big ram in here, right here. Just a freaking honking ram. Just most beautiful ram I think I've ever seen in my life. Now he is the parents of the rams I'll show you, and the rams are over there. So he is the father, but he is super, super aggressive. I'm gonna feed these guys, and what I love about this tank is I feed it, and I always get wet. Personally, one of my favorite fish is the rainbow fish. Now I have the Antesia bozemanii, I have the praycock, which is dwarf neon, I have a turquoise, and then I have a couple guppies in there too. And you'll see the fry of these. Now, this is not a breeding tank, this is just a holding tank. We do not want to crossbreed any rainbow fish because you're just going to get the ugliest fish in the world. Basically come out brown fish. So rainbow fish are obviously known for the colors. And these guys I mostly feed, I mean I feed them other stuff, I feed them beef heart and stuff like that every now and then, but mostly they eat flake food. Just because of the reaction, I love that. This wall we just went through, that's the north wall. We did the west wall over there, and this is the north wall. Here we have the champion rams, these are all the best of the best, and I have my zebra plecos in here. Down here is the guppies that I'm breeding. This is the strain I'm working on. Now I got 2 or 3 strains in there, so I'm trying to cross them right now. I want to get a red fin with a blue body, and then I want to get more of a not such a fan tail, more of a sleek tail. Not a pin tail, but not so much where the fish has to swim up. Right? I want to make sure you can swim through the water. Now what the theory is if they have that fast tail, they're going to eat their fry. So that's just something I'm going to have to figure out how to breed them correctly. Now I would put a lot more grass like over here in here when I'm ready to breed them. But they just went in literally a week ago, and I'm just getting them ready. So let's feed these guys so they get this worm flake too. And what's nice about the rams and the zebra plecos will come out and eat this food. As long as it hits the ground, they're going to eat it. Now I have a lot of snails in there to clean up in the rock section. When I feed a tank, you know, I want to kind of keep it, we don't need a lot of it. So that's what's nice about this stuff is a little bit goes a long way, and it's affordable. If I was to feed all the foods I have as far as the expensive stuff every day, you know, I still have to be cost effective as far as not overfeeding or not overspending in my fish room because, you know, in order to be profitable, we have to be smart with our money. Those rams are going to eat it, and then these plecos will come out. And even if they don't come out, I feed them separate. The Aqua Balance on my website, I feed that every night. So I feed those 2 tabs every night. And they're always gone by the morning. And I will feed my other pleco disc, but I feed that mostly to the bushy nose. But these guys get a lot because they're young, and they will grow. I mean, you could literally feed this probably 4 or 5 times a week, and it would grow just perfect. And they're growing great. So these will be the ones that are going out to you guys, and then these 2. So these will be a little bigger. But I'm gonna see if I can catch these guys up. It's like making up time in the air. Is it really a thing? Red turquoise and the blue face Namunda with the galaxy turquoise, the turquoise heckle, blue face Namunda heckle, red turquoise cross. All right, let's go to our future breeder. All right, so here we have, these guys just bred the other day. The eggs did not hatch. Their first time trying it. I got my big blue face Namunda red turquoise cross with a Ultim Flora. So great pair, that's going to be amazing. That's probably going to come out more turquoise than anything. You can see that. What's nice about the Ultim Flora is it has some blues and reds in it. So that's really what I kind of want to get into my strain. I'm going to feed these guys just a little bit for 2. And then these guys here. I have the Galaxy Turquoise, Cupola, Blue-Faced Amunda Cross, Royal Cupola. So I really like that Cupola. I haven't been able to breed them, but they're young and they'll be growing up soon here. So they're going to get some of this too. Alright. They really do grow well on this stuff. It's amazing. The formula is top notch. Only the best products, because if I'm going to feed a flake food to expensive fish, it better be the best of the best. These are my young adults. These are, I can kind of remember, turquoise, my German blue, true German blue round. And then here is the Florida round. They've bred a couple times in here. I'm not breeding them. So what I'm going to do is hopefully grow out my youngsters. This Florida one, it might be something where I have to breed this fish into my strain just for the genetics, because it's almost impossible to find the real German blue round these days. So we'll see. These guys get a lot because they're growing. So these guys are going to get a ton. You see that? Yeah. And lights don't go off for another 3 or 4 hours. Now there's some flake foods that I highly recommend you not feed. And what you're looking for is a product called ethoxyquin. It's usually the last ingredient. It is a carcinogen. And it should not be touched by humans, which is ironic because flake food is fed by touching it. But not only that, you're feeding it to your fish. It's FDA approved, so it's considered safe, like our tap water is considered safe, which is total garbage. I don't drink tap water, I never do. I have RO water, I just remineralize and drink it myself. And that way I stay healthy, I'm not drinking bleach. Look at your flake food. It should not be used if it has it in there. It's in a lot of foods that are sold that you probably have used. If you own a fish tank, you've probably used that product. I just want to get a video out. So you can get this right now. Members, buy 3 ounces, get the 4th free and free shipping. So you can order that and get this and get a jar of this. Right? It'll come in a bag. It won't come in a jar. But, you know, maybe put it in a jar. But safe to touch, excellent to feed, high quality. It's a great way to keep cost in check, right? I have 3 flake foods and I feed them all. This just happens to be my favorite because I put the most into this one, so I love this food. Alright, that's it tonight. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make another video by the holidays. I wish you the very best. Thank you guys, and I hope to see you again this year, but most likely it's going to be 2026. It's been a great year in the fish room. We've really got a lot done. I got new energy to get in here and work. I get in every morning at 6 o'clock, I get into my room, and then if I'm home, then I'm in it most of the day or working. Tonight, I won't be able to stay in my fish room, so everything's been fed. We're good tonight, right? But, I mean, that probably cost me under $1 to feed my entire room. So, that's the thing, is quick, easy, cost-effective, safe, no carcinogens. We do not allow that in my fish foods. Alright guys, take care. We'll see you hopefully this year. If not, see you next year. Alright, take care. Bye.